Hey guys, what is going on? Peteonthebeat here. In this video we are going to imagine a specific situation when you are already adapted to the ketogenic lifestyle. Everything is nice, everything works perfectly fine, everything is nice and smooth, and you are on the other hand already adapted to the OMAD 1 meal a day plan, and from now on you want to do some experiments with certain types of carbohydrates. You want to start to bring more variety in your meal plan, and in the end of the day, let me put it like this, you really want to incorporate some starch in your diet, some form of carbohydrate or whatever. So in this video I would like to give you some tips, and I would like to discuss some factors or key things, or key factors if you prefer, if you will, or whatever, that are crucial, they are extremely important, and you have to pay attention to when you decide to incorporate some starches in your diet. So without further ado, I would like to start with the first one, and the first one is toxicity in the carbohydrates. As you probably already know, a lot of the carbohydrates are packed with all kinds of weird stuff that you probably don't know about. You are probably not able even to pronounce these particular ingredients or whatever, additives, preservatives, hidden sugars, high processed corn syrup or whatever. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. All of these things, you have to understand that all of these things will have dramatically negative effect on your 1 meal a day adaptation, and on the other hand will definitely have a slightly negative impact on your blood sugar levels during the fasted state. So in my personal opinion, I definitely recommend you to stay away from all of these processed carbohydrates. Basically forget about the processed carbohydrates. Let me put it like this, all of those wheat-based cookies, pastas and that kind of stuff, forget about this type of stuff. Here I would like to also make clear that by any means I will not recommend the usage or the consumption of carbohydrates for a person who does not perform any kind of strength training, resistance training. Especially, I do not recommend the consumption of carbohydrates for someone who, for example, does not kill it in the gym 7 days a week. I don't see the point of consumption of carbohydrates. You have to understand that in the end of the day, carbohydrates are not really a food. They're more like a tool that you can use to feed your high intensity or high volume or heavy training sessions. In the end of the day, it is what it is. So now it's time for the second thing. You have to pay attention to each and every food you consume. Pay attention to how you feel on the next day. If certain food produce cravings on the next day, and during your fasted state, during the period of time when you do not consume any calories, this is basically 24-hour period of time, as obvious because we are talking about the OMAD. You have cravings, you have certain desires for food, you want to eat food, you want to consume calories or certain types of food. You have to understand that most definitely in this particular situation something is wrong, and some food or some of the foods that you consumed yesterday, the day before, they produce this particular negative effect of cravings. And again, I always talk about this in my other videos. I always say this, and I will continue saying this because this is extremely important. You have to understand that the cravings can ruin your whole adaptation, your keto adaptation, your OMAD adaptation. They can go to the toilet easily. This is not some form of rare occasions and that kind of stuff. The world is full of individuals who have that eating disorder or binge eating disorder or overeating, whatever you prefer to call it, but this is the reality, and we want to avoid this situation by any means because, as I mentioned, your whole adaptation and your well-developed lifestyle can go to the toilet because of these cravings. So the third thing that you have to pay attention to, I talk about this in my other videos, but a lot of the ketogenic gurus and a lot of the OMAD gurus neglect this particular part, and this is again vital and really important, for example, for an athlete, because people who try to build muscle and that kind of stuff, obviously their 1 meals a day are slightly bigger than the 1 meal a day for the others or whatever. So make sure the thing that you choose for a carbohydrate source to be easy digestible, because on the 1 meal a day you probably consume higher quantities of this particular food. So make sure you pick something that is not toxic to your digestive system, and definitely avoid all the negative effects of bloatedness, stomach pains and that kind of stuff. Most definitely do not listen to what the ketogenic gurus or paleo gurus or OMAD gurus say about this particular subject, because as you probably already know, in 99% of the time all these paleo gurus promote the statement that the broccoli is some sort of a superfood, exceptional superfood. Me personally, I'm gonna be bloody honest with you, if I eat broccoli, I feel like the broccoli can kill me. For me, the broccoli is fucking kryptonite, and I avoid broccoli by any means. If I consume broccoli on the next day, I always have like this massive, terrible hangover going. I feel like dog shit, and on the other hand, I got these like stomach pains during the whole day, and I really want to avoid this thing. The fourth thing that you have to pay attention to, that is again extremely important. Basically everything I mentioned in this video is extremely important and makes perfect sense. And if you do everything correctly, you will definitely be able to avoid all those negative side effects. You have to understand that everything is different for each and every individual, but in the end of the day, a lot of the carbohydrates have the ability to produce like negative emotions like depression, anxiety, nausea, fluctuations in the mood throughout the day, and all these weird feelings about doubt, a lot of doubt about the whole life, doubt about your success, doubt about your confidence, doubt about certain circumstances and that kind of stuff. You have to understand that if some food that you consumed on the previous day produce those type of effects, you have to avoid this food by any means. It doesn't really matter if that guru says it's superfood or whatever. You have to learn how to listen to your own body and the signals of your body. This is extremely important, especially with the OMAD, because you have huge quantities on one sitting. This is really important. You have to understand that it takes time to find the right sources of carbohydrates. Me personally, when I adopted to the OMAD with the ketogenic diet and all the stuff that I talk about in my other videos, when I started to incorporate starches, massive side effects for like 6 months straight, until I found the best sources for me. In my personal opinion, those are the best sources of carbohydrates. It took me like 6 months straight, I ain't gonna lie. And here I would like to point the painful truth, because the depression is, everybody can handle a little bit of depression, everybody can handle a little bit of anxiety and that kind of stuff, but there are a lot more negative side effects from the carbohydrates, such as the panic attacks. And I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I don't talk a lot about this in my other videos, but I'm gonna say this in this video, and I'll probably put a lot more videos for this particular subject in the future, because this is pretty painful situation that the carbohydrates can produce, certain carbohydrates. You have to understand this, and when you start to incorporate some starches or safe starches, you have to most definitely pay attention to your blood sugar levels throughout the whole day. And here I would like to suggest you a keyword tip. This is keyword tip. When you experiment with all of those starches, safe or not, make sure you have like a glucometer and a tension valve, and measure your blood sugar levels and your blood pressure a few times a day during the fasted state. And really just, you can keep a journal, but I'm pretty sure you will notice a difference in your mood throughout the whole day. And if something gives you that bad outlook for the whole world, this doubt about your success, doubt about this, doubt about that, then don't lie to yourself. Most definitely the carbohydrates produce these particular feelings. You have to understand. And you have to understand that when you experiment with all of those carbohydrates, you take the risk on your own. And in the end of the day, of course, I would like to mention the safe starches. There is huge evidence about the safe starches, but here I would like to point to details, because I really feel like it's all about details and that kind of stuff. So pay attention to the details that I'm about to mention right now, because they in my personal opinion play a huge role in the whole situation. So as you probably already know, accordingly to PhDs and top-notch like paleo bloggers such as Paul Jaminet, Chris Kresser and Mark Sisson's Mark Daily Apple. The safe starches are the white rice because it's toxins and arsenic free, since all the toxins and the arsenic is in the outer part, the shelf of the rice. The yams, you probably already know this. For me personally, this is great, this works great, but I'm not able to tolerate all kinds of white rice. It took me a really long time to find the right types of white rice, and personally I can do really well, incredibly well with white basmati rice. I talk a lot about this in my other videos, but I have to make sure that it's imported straight from India. On the label on the back it says like only white rice, and it took me very long time to find this particular starch, and in my personal opinion this is probably the purest and cleanest form of glucose that is available on the supermarkets. So if I have to recommend you one starch to maybe experiment with, I would definitely recommend you the white basmati rice. If you can get your hands on a brand that imports straight from India and whatnot, it really doesn't matter what the brand is, it really doesn't matter. This is the most important thing, that this is actually the only thing that matters. It has to be imported straight from India, so keep that in mind. Right now, in the end of this video, as a conclusion, we are going to do like a quick summary of all of the things that I mentioned. So the first thing that you have to pay attention to is the toxicity in certain forms of carbohydrates. The second thing that you have to pay attention to are the cravings, desire for certain foods, and that kind of stuff on the next day. The third thing that you have to pay attention to are the negative emotions, negative feelings, and basically anxiety and that kind of stuff. The fourth thing is digestibility, and basically I definitely recommend you stick with foods or pick a certain form of carbohydrates which your body can absorb and digest extremely fast and extremely well, and it's not toxic to your digestive system. The white rice is great for this. I feel it's extremely easy to digest. And in the end of the day, experiment, try different types of stuff. And the fifth thing that is the most important thing is to not listen to what this article says or what this coach says or that coach. Listen to your body and try to read the signals of your body. This is the best advice I can give you. I cannot say it any better than this. So yeah, I got tired from this video. So yeah guys, this is basically everything I wanted to say. I hope I covered everything. I hope everything I said made sense for you. If so, please do not hesitate to click on the thumbs up button down below. If you're interested in more videos like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So yeah, I'm alright here for now. I would like to thank you for watching this video. Please stay tuned for more. Have a nice one. Peace, and I'm out.